What's up guys, Ulysses here. Today we are talking to shape you. What's up guys, Ulysses here. Today we are talking about nutrition, one-on-one nutrition. The other question that I get asked a lot, which is I think is a very important question, is obviously about nutrition. You cannot have a great physique if your nutrition is not good. So why is nutrition important with your training? Because some people say all you have to do is just train, and that's far from it. Nutrition takes up a huge percentage of your physique in terms of how you look, how you present yourself. It's the reason why bodybuilders diet, obviously. I mean, if everyone can just lift weight and look great, then no one has to diet. Everyone will be all right. But you have to diet, you have to keep a balanced diet, you have to have good nutrition, good supplement, etc. So nutrition is very important. That's getting in, your standard meals, making sure you're taking your supplements, making sure, you have stuff like antioxidants. Antioxidants, for me, I call those building blocks. You don't really see the gains right away because it's not like, okay, I'm gonna be taking my antioxidants, my amino acids, and next week I'm gonna be massive. It takes years to build that. So if you're constantly doing that, day in, day out, year in, months out, year in, year out, 4 or 5 years from now, that equity that you've built up with your nutrition is gonna show on your physique. And that's very, very important. So I advocate that you make sure you have your standard. I'm not big about taking tons of supplements. Supplements are great. I'm big on actually having actual food. So your standard foods are great, but make sure they're clean. So you stay away from a lot of fried stuff. You stay away from a lot of cheese, not too many dairy, not too many fried stuff, not too many oily stuff. Keep it balanced. It's all about moderation and proportions, really. So if you can eat a balanced diet and eat frequently and make sure your diet is clean, your physique will show that. I mean, the guy that has a good diet, that eats clean, will probably look more shredded, more ripped, more balanced. His muscles will pop out even more with his diet, showing that his diet is on point. So I would say keep a balanced diet. Make sure you're good on your supplements. And like I said, supplements is what it exactly says. It's a supplement. You add it to your meals. So meals should be first. Make sure you get your good balanced meals. Make sure you get your supplements. Make sure you take your aminos and your antioxidants. Those are building blocks. They come in very handy. So make sure if you stick with those 3 basic things day in and day out, it would show in your physique, basically. So that's my number 1 tip, really, for people that are starting out. Obviously, as you become an advanced lifter and you get better, you're gonna want to try other supplements out and do other stuff and increase your diet and increase your calories and carb cycling. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes into nutrition. So there's so many things you can do or manipulate to see if it works for you and how your physique responds to that. So, but for now, for the guys that are starting out, whether you're 18 years old, 20 years old, what I would say, the best advice I would give you is stick to your standard meals, whether it's 3 meals or 4 meals a day. Try to add 1 or 2 protein shakes in there, which is totally fine. Make sure if you're gonna have 1 protein shake a day, it must be a post-workout shake. So stuff like that is good. Make sure when you wake up, you take your antioxidants. You also take it after you train. Just little components that builds up over the years. So if you do these things day in and day out, you build that equity and it is showing your physique. So for my typical diet, what people always ask me, well, what do you eat specifically? I'm big on chicken, I'm big on fish. Every now and then I'll have a steak. So, I definitely have my steak. I think it's needed. But typically I wake up in the morning, I have a shake first thing in the morning. It's liquid, my body absorbs it right away because I've been fasting pretty much for 6-8 hours sleeping. That's why I always advocate a shake in the morning. I even have it in all of my programs. A shake in the morning is very, very important. But I take that with my antioxidants. And then I'll have like oats, just plain oats with water, nothing extra to it, nothing crazy. If you can't have oats with just water, I'll say maybe add some raisins to it or add some blueberries to it. just to give you that natural sugar that some people might want. If I'm gaining, I'll add, you know, some egg whites in the morning. After maybe an hour or an hour and a half later, I'll have some egg whites if I'm hungry, etc. Then I'll have some snack, whether it's a fiber snack, maybe some rice cake with peanut butter, just one rice cake with peanut butter, stuff like that, natural peanut butter. I'll have that. Then I'll have my lunch, usually around 1, which consists of either rice and chicken or rice and fish. I like quinoa as well, so I'll have that, or quinoa. They say here in Europe it's quinoa. In the States we say quinoa. So I'll have that as well. But it's usually, and then I'll train. A couple hours later, I'll have my post-workout shake. And then after my post-workout shake, I'll have another meal. It could be sweet potatoes or even regular potatoes with some kind of fish, chicken, or meat. And then I'll have dinner. Now, if I'm, the most important thing for me anyway, if I'm bulking, then I'll have a normal standard dinner around 6, 7. I'll have my dinner, and it consists of some good carbs, whether it's rice, pasta, with some kind of protein, whether it's fish, chicken, or beef again, I'll have. That's usually my dinner. If I'm not bulking and I'm dieting, I usually take the carbs out and substitute that for some fibers, and I'll get in some mixed veggies on there, some broccoli. So that's the key for me. In the evening, I tend to drop my carbs if I'm dieting. But during the day, if I'm not dieting, I'll have normal carbs with my fish, chicken, or steak. So that's usually my typical diet. If I'm hungry later on at night, I'll have a snack, fat-free Jello. If I have a craving for a sweet tooth, or I have some kind of craving, so maybe some sugar-free Jello or something like that, or sugar-free, fat-free yogurt, something like that. But usually I tend to just have a casein shake at night, to be honest. But I tend to mix it up. So if I'm hungry certain nights, I'll have some yogurt, fat-free yogurt. Certain nights I'll have casein. So I think if you just mix things up, it works really well. I'm very good with carb cycling, which we might get into later. So when I'm getting ready for a shoot or a competition, I know how to manipulate my carbs just to look sharp. And one of the ways I tend to do is usually keep my carbs low in the evening or at night, and I tend to up my veggies. So that's usually standard and it's kind of basic stuff. A lot of bodybuilders do that in general, but there's other ways you can carb cycle based on your physique to bring out sharpness and obviously to get the pump and get the muscle belly showing a little bit better. Oh man, you know what? One of the questions I get is about cheat meals. I don't have a set day that I cheat because my diet is usually general and it's usually good. I don't really, if I feel like going out and having a few slices of pizza, I'll go out and have it because I know I train hard. I know my diet is good 95% of the time. So it gives me room to do that. But I would say typically, general for everyone, if you're gonna have a cheat day, whether it's once a week or every 10 days is typically a general way to set that. I used to set that every week for me or every 10 days back in the days. But now I just tend to just eat when I feel the need to eat if I want to have a regular meal. In terms of, it's weird, my cheat meals are not like the standard cheat meals that everyone have. Everyone would want like pizza. I like pizza, don't get me wrong, or they'll have a tub of ice cream or chocolate or stuff like that. To be honest, I like more like the Caribbean or African food, but I tend to just eat a lot more of it, to be honest, than I should normally eat. I always advocate portion control. So when I cheat, I take away the portion control. That's usually what it is, really. It's not a specific food per se. But I love stuff like Caribbean oxtail. You know, that's like, I would eat a lot more of that than I normally should, and I'll consider that a cheat meal for me. Okay guys, I hope I've answered some of your questions. I'm going to be doing some more Q&A in the future, so please watch out for me at ulyssesworld.com. Also follow me on Instagram at ulyssesworld. Also follow Shape You. You know, big thanks to Shape You for bringing this interview because I really want to reach out to my fans in Germany. I hope you guys like it. Make sure you check me out on my website, on my YouTube, Ulisses World, on Instagram, Ulisses World, and Facebook, Ulysses. All right, guys? Thanks so much for the support. I'll see you soon. Peace.